guy is the DJI Action 2, and in my opinion, it is one of the most versatile action cameras out there. The DJI Action 2 is so small and so easy to use, and you can really get into all the little nooks and crannies that you want to get there in order to get some creative shots. Even my intro alone, I was able to put the DJI Action 2 into locations that I would never be able to fit in with a traditional mirrorless camera, giving me some really cool, unique shots that I just wouldn't be able to get with any other camera out there. The DJI Action 2 weighs in at only 56 grams, and to give you an understanding just how small and lightweight that is the size of an egg. And let me just compare with you to another action camera out there. This is the GoPro Hero 10, and comparing the GoPro Hero 10 to the DJI Action 2, look at this. The front screen camera is pretty much the size of the GoPro Hero 10s. Oh my gosh, that is so small, insane to think, because even the GoPro Hero 10 is already small, but this just takes it to the next level. Even though the DJI Action 2 is very small and lightweight, it still definitely packs a punch. This little guy can film up to 4K, 120 frames per second. It's got incredible stabilized image with the Rocksteady 2.0, and the colors are looking really nice out of this camera compared to the original DJI Action camera. While filming with the DJI Action 2, I was using the d-cinelike profile, which is the flat picture profile on the Action 2. And the reason why I was using that picture profile was that I would get more dynamic range and there's more flexibility to color grade in post. So in order to get the d-cinelike back to a normal like Rec. 7.9 looking shot, all you gotta do is first add some contrast and then bring back the saturation, and voila, you're back to normal. And from there, then I was able to add my own color grades with my own cine LUT, the perfect skin tones LUT that I enjoy using. That one brings down the greens to a more desaturated look and just gives you that nice cinematic look. So I would highly recommend use the d-cinelike if you want to get more flexibility in post to get those nice colors out of the DJI Action 2. As well, it has this really cool 1.7-inch back screen right here. It just fills the whole back of the camera. And it's really cool because once you're using the menu, you can have this haptic feedback going on. So it's really nice knowing that when you're changing settings on the Action 2, it's actually happening compared to a lot of other action cameras, especially if you're in the water filming with an action camera or just on the go. You might feel like when you're using a screen, it's not actually doing what you want to do, but with this haptic feedback, you really feel and know that, okay, I'm moving one, selection at a time and going to the next frame rate. So really nice, this haptic feedback and size of the screen on the back of the Action 2. The DJI Action 2 has 3 fields of view. We have the ultra wide, we have the wide, and we have the standard, giving you the flexibility to get the dynamic shot depending on the situation you're in. If you're planning on filming action sports, then I would recommend using the ultra wide because you're gonna get the most wide and dynamic look for the footage. But then if you plan on filming people and you don't want that crazy distortion in the corners, use the standard de-warp mode because that's gonna give you less distortion and just a more cinematic look for your footage. Now, what really makes the DJI Action 2 stand out is the modular system and its magnetic system. So it is really nice that you can decide to choose to film with the Action 2 alone. It's gonna have a 32 gigabyte internal storage and a battery life of 70 minutes. But if you do wanna beef up the Action 2, you do have the choice to add different modules. You can add the power combo module, which is really easy to attach. The magnetic system just clips on like that, and then you can just fold in these clips so that's 100% tight, it's not gonna come apart. But having this power combo system is gonna take the battery life from 70 minutes to 180 minutes. So that's 3 hours of filming time. As well, we have the front screen module. So if you wanna be able to film yourself, capture moments, get some selfies, you can use the front screen module. And as well, that's gonna give you 160 minutes of power life with the Action 2. Now, like I said before, I really like the fact that DJI hasn't forced you to use the modular system if you don't want to or need to, but they have made it available if you want to use the two different modules with the Action 2 camera. Now, keep in mind when you're using the Action 2 camera alone, it is waterproof up to 10 meters deep, but if you're using the two different modules, you're gonna have to use water housing, so make sure you're not using the modules, going deep down the water, and having an upsetting moment because of that. So make sure you're using your water housing if you're using the modules. Now, where the magnetics come into play is very interesting. When DJI first released the Action 2, I'm sure many of us were quite skeptical that magnets, really, are they gonna be strong enough to keep the DJI Action 2 on different mounts? But it actually works really well. The DJI Action uses the magnetic system for the modules like I showed earlier, and as well for its different mounts. So this is the ball joint mount, and you can just easily clip on the DJI Action to the ball head joint. You can film yourself, set it down on a tripod, whatever you need to get the shots, or you can just easily take it off and you can add it to the lanyard. The lanyard's pretty cool. You can just put it underneath your shirt. It's pretty discreet. People aren't gonna notice. There's this little like front cap you just put here, and then you can just attach the Action 2 onto your shirt. Really cool magnetic system. And again, if you wanted to go from this lanyard system to the ball head, all you gotta do is just take it off and clip it back to the ball head joint. Having the flexibility of being able to really quickly move the Action 2 from one mount to the next is super important because you don't wanna miss different moments that you're capturing when you're using an action camera. I personally really enjoyed using the Action 2 and the lanyard mount when I've been traveling. It's actually really stable and reliable. Like, you can shake all you want, move around a lot, it's not gonna fall off, and you won't have to be worried about losing it. But the reason why this is really cool is that when you're traveling, often you have, your passport in one hand, you're carrying your carry-on with your other hand, your hands are full, so it's a lot of work to have a camera on top of that trying to capture the moments. But with the Action 2 on the lanyard, you get these really cool POV shots of what's happening in your everyday life, especially with travels. I recently took this on one of my trips, just trying to capture the moments. And it was really nice to see different kind of moments that I usually wouldn't have gotten if I was honest with myself using a traditional camera. But with the Action 2, because it's so easy, you can just attach it to your shirt and just capture the moments. I got a lot of shots that I wouldn't usually get. And then if you want to take the Action 2, put it onto the tripod head and maybe set it down on a table, film yourself at the airport, that's possible too. So having the flexibility of the magnets and the different mounts is really helpful when you're capturing moments with this DJI Action 2 action camera. Now, there was some concern about overheating with the DJI Action 2, which is understandable. People who want to be able to capture long clips, they can't have a camera overheating, missing the moments. And for that, DJI has released the magnetic protective case, which not only protects your DJI Action 2 camera from getting damaged, but as well, it helps to lower the heat and prevent any overheating on your Action 2, which is really cool to see companies innovating, dealing with potential issues, and helping customers have just a good overall feeling of the product. If you've had your eye for a while on the DJI Action 2 and you're interested in getting it, there is actually a promotion right now for the DJI Action 2 with the front screen module at a low price of 379 euros, which is actually 200 euros cheaper than the original price. So there's a really good promotion going right now for the DJI Action 2. So I'll make sure to link it below in my description. You guys can grab it straight from there. But yeah, it's insane to see how companies are just innovating and creating products and tools for us filmmakers to use to capture moments that we just wouldn't capture before. So DJI, good job on the Action 2. I'm so excited to keep playing with this little guy and see what kind of creative shots I'm gonna get with this camera. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and me just showing off the DJI Action 2. We're out of here.